There's a song that I sing to the lines on the highway, to the faces I have seen in the ramblin' that is my way, singing in time with the band on the radio, in the rhythm and the rhyme, what I already know.
Just before the second broadcast, during that break, we'll pull a name out. This is loaded: Tim Crackle, John Gage, Alan Rhodey, I can't name them yet, Mickey Clark. All manner of folks have signed off on this thing, so you can be the proud owner of this. $2, yes, Sam Bush, lots of people. $2 a chance, 3 for $5. They're available from now on, but at the break, be sure to get your shot in on this thing. It's going to be good, and you may be the one that walks home with it tonight.
Colonel Bob Thompson. Every other week in the summer before second grade, our 7-year-old granddaughter filled our lives. And then on Sunday nights, when she would go back across the river to spend a week with her mother, I looked in her eyes and I saw a sadness that she knew that we weren't going to communicate for a week. And immediately I thought, I'm going to change that. I'm going to start a tradition of writing her a letter every week. I texted her mother and made sure she was okay with that idea, and she thought it would be a wonderful idea. I didn't want it to be an electronic medium, because kids that age, their electronics are all about games and Pokemon and Toca Boca. And I wanted it to be a real handwritten, hold in your hand letter that you had to be excited about and go out to the mailbox and wait for. And I sat down at the computer and tried to see the world through a 7-year-old's eyes, and I wrote 3 or 4 topics, 1 or 2 sentences about birds at the feeder and about bugs of any kind, about the dog world antics of Sophie and Jasper the hound dog. And when I had it just right, I took out a piece of lined paper and a lead pencil, and I wrote it in block letters, because they don't teach cursive anymore in school. And I put it in the envelope and stuck it in the mail and waited. And on Wednesday evening, I got a text from her mother. So, oh yeah, she got it. Caused quite a bit of excitement around here. But I had to read it to her, because she complained that it was too cursive-y. But anyway, it was great. I thought I started planning on the next one. And 4 days later, when she came back, and finally she and I were alone, I looked at her and I said, Isabella, did you get my letter? She stopped and looked at me, and her eyes got really big, and I looked in there, and there was fear. And she said, Papa, it scared me to death. I'd forgotten that this was not the first letter that she'd got. Last fall, when she and her stepsister Vivian had not been getting along at all, had been fighting about video games and television and dresses and everything you could imagine, her parents had enough of it, and each one of them sat down and in very stern tones wrote them a letter explaining the things they needed to change and mailed it to them. And now, having only gotten 1 letter before, she thought that all letters contained stern warnings, and that they came from the same place, the North Pole. And a warning from the big guy in the red suit at mid-year as a follow-up could not be a good thing. And I looked in those little eyes full of fear, and I knew exactly how she felt. When I would get an unexpected letter from the IRS, I felt the same way.